Hi, this is Melly, and you're tuned into Intoxicated. Remember to always drink responsibility and to always have a designated driver.
Good afternoon, YouTube land. Good afternoon in the world. Welcome to another episode of Intoxicated TheSipNChat Show, the online commercial-free podcast whereby we promote local talent and locally consumed beverages. Today we're actually at Fab Kids. For those of you who may not know what Fab Kids is and where it's located, I'll allow my guest to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about the location that we are at today.
Hi, good day, good afternoon, good evening, whichever time you decide to watch the program.
Yeah.
I'm Melissa Atwell. I'm the owner of Fab Kids 592, and we're located on 59 High Street, just in the Ashmin Mall, actually, in town. The yellow building to the back, the parking lot, that is.
Beautiful, beautiful interior. Super dope, for all of you who've never been here. You need to come down here and check it out. Super dope. Kid stuff. Beautiful. So, Melissa, how was everything? It's traditional for us to take a shot at the beginning of the show. So, I don't know which one. Have you tried anything here as yet?
Well, since I've already been having something to drink,
Yeah.
does that count?
That don't count now. So, we'll take a shot to kick it off.
All right.
If you don't drink, you can die from thirst, so the more the merrier.
Okay. We're going to try the coconut since I know it's your favorite.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually drinking coconut fruta.
Okay. There is a coconut fruta?
No, coconut rum or fruta.
Oh.
All right. Cheers to super dope interior.
Thank you.
Best one ever. Best one. You ever had it as a shot before?
Not as a shot, no.
Oh, okay. So for the people who may not know who Melissa is, you wanna tell us a little bit about where you grew up in Georgetown or should I say Guyana?
I was actually born in Agricola.
In Agricola, okay.
I was, but I grew up in Bel Air with my grandmother.
Okay.
So I'm a grandparent kind of girl.
That's true. Yeah. And I grew up with my mom and my grandma, and I know for a fact I think it's better growing up with your grandparents because it was kind of. I still have a lot of these old fashioned. Yeah, that's what I'm saying when it comes to the values and the morals.
And morals.
Yeah, their grandparents.
But I actually grew up with both my grandmother and my mom because my mom was always back and forth because she used to trade at the time.
Okay.
So, but most of the time, whenever she's not there, I'll be with my grandmother.
So you grew up in Agricola and then you went to Bel Air.
And then we moved to Bel Air.
What are some of the schools that you would have attended while growing up here in Georgetown?
Well, I went to Bel Air Primary School. I went to Bel Air Nursery, then I went to Bel Air Primary, and then I went to Cummins Lodge Secondary, then I went on to School of the Nations.
Okay, School of the Nations. And what are some of your favorite childhood memories that you just be like, I won't mind experiencing these happenings again.
Yeah. I was actually quite a tomboy when I was growing up. I was a tomboy actually. So
a tomboy?
Yes, I was actually a tomboy.
Climbing coconut tree.
Going to the back they call it the blackout, walk all the way to the back from Bel Air to Sophia, go down to the blackout, swimming in the trench with my cousin who was a couple of years older than me at the time. And he used to have me behind him he and the boy used to be going and I used to be the only girl.
Which one black you went to? The one behind, going to Sophia side?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to go to
the one where people actually, a few
drunk.
people like known
Guess
drunk
the
there.
amount of lashes I used to get for going to the blackout on a daily basis, it was crazy, stupid.
Yeah, so we used to get away. Sometimes whole day we had back there swimming. So I must say there was it's strange how fun back then and fun now is totally two different things.
It's different. Yeah, no, it's totally different. So, looking back to Melissa when she was 14 years old, or even between the ages of 10 to 14, and to where you're at currently, what type of advice would you give to that younger Melissa, to yourself at that younger age? What is some of the advice you would give to your younger self?
In general?
Yeah, in general, whether it's academically, whether it's socially, whether it's personally, what type of advice?
I would have to say to stay focused. What is it that you want to accomplish, and what is it you think you need as an individual, and what is it you want to achieve? Whatever it is your aim, just aim high and stay focused.
You weren't a focused child at that between the age of 10 and 14?
I wasn't. I don't think I was in high school then.
Yeah.
And by the time I'm out of by the time I was out of primary school, I mean, when I was in primary school, I was much more focused on my schoolwork and I was much more competitive.
Okay.
Like, you're always striving to get first or second and third. I remember I was always a child that was always either first, second, or third in school. So that was, but by the time you get to secondary school, and there's so many distractions. When you get to secondary school, as you grow, that's why, like, for me, my son is now in high school, and I try to keep him, because I try to get him to focus on his schoolwork, on education and stuff. Yeah. But like I said, there's so many distractions back then, and we didn't even have social media and Facebook and Instagram and all these things. So I can imagine how hard it is for the kids right now to stay focused on schooling and on their academics and what is it that they need to achieve and stuff like that.
Even though I can't even keep focus at this age right now.
It's hard, right?
It's so hard.
I know.
So then you say, I must stay off of social media for one day, and you can't even stay off it for 1 hour. It's like an addiction. So at 15, 16, what were you aspiring to become once you got older? Did you have any dream at that age?
No, a lawyer. I was always aspiring to become a lawyer.
Why a lawyer, though?
I don't know. I can't even say that it was something that... I remember when I was small, I used to always watch... That time it was Perry Mason and...
Matlock.
Yeah.
More than she wrote
but mostly Perry Mason and Matlock.
Yeah.
And I used to remember going home from primary school every afternoon, like between 12 and 1 o'clock. They used to show either Perry Mason or Matlock.
Yeah.
And I used to be glued to the TVs. I used to always be late for school, getting back to school for 1 o'clock. The school was right around the corner from where I was living, but I had to finish watching the program before I get back to school. And I guess since then I said, you know what, I'm going to be a lawyer when I grow up. I was just fascinated by Perry Mason and Matlock. So I guess that was how I came about, I want to be a lawyer.
We was just actually making comparison to growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s to growing up presently. Do you think we as a society appreciate those family values and morals that we had as a kid growing up compared to what is in existence right now? Whereby, a stranger could have come, and if they see your kids doing something wrong, or they could have whipped your kids and then come home and stuff. Do you think,
I think in some part of our society in Ghana, those traditional values still exist. I think when it comes to morals and values, I think Guyanese in the whole, like, they just embed those stuff in their kids, regardless of whether it's you're a Christian, a Hindu, or Muslim, or stuff like that. Because I'm sure I don't think that there's a criminal out there or there's somebody out there that who hasn't at some point in their life been religious or been to school or have been, somebody taught them, this is the right thing or the right thing that they should be doing or this is the wrong thing. So I think when it comes to moral and value, as a Guyanese, you can say what you want about Guyanese, but, as a society, the values and the morals are always there. We take pride in that.
Yeah, so we'll take another shot. Yeah, it's time for another shot. Which one would you like to try?
This one.
3-year-old?
The 3-year-old.
You've had the 3-year-old before?
Yes.
Yeah, you have.
I have.
I don't like the 3-year-old. Nobody drinks 3-year-old. It was like, the old man at the rum shop from 9
But I didn't even know that there was a 3-year-old.
Nobody knows there's a 3-year-old. I'm wondering where you had this 3-year-old.
What is it? Is it DDL?
It is DDL. El Dorado, yeah.
El Dorado?
Cheers to family values and moral. Wow. So in your own words, what would you say is wrong with the entire aspect of how we as a society goes about when it comes to In your own words, what do you think is wrong when it comes to the entire aspect of schooling? Based on what you would have learned and how your teachers would have taught you and compared to now. When it comes to schooling, like, for example, you can beat the kids, and when we grew up, we got whipped. Anything we did, if we went to school late, we would, they would lock out. They would lock the gate, and then we would gotta get 5 lashes before we go in our school. Now I heard you can get, there's no corporal punishment in school.
You know what? I think back in my days, I think that the schools were very patriotic. I think the teachers taught more. They taught more. We learned a lot. I think that, teachers were more interested in their job. They actually loved teaching.
It was a passion, definitely.
Yeah, it was a passion. It was something that they actually loved doing. When I say the schools are more patriotic, I mean like you have to say like 4 grades before you leave. You say when you get to school in the morning, you have to say the first stanza of the national anthem. You got to say the pledge. Then you got to say a prayer.
You have to sing the national song and stuff like that.
Then at break, you say another prayers. At lunchtime, you say another prayers. You come back from lunch, you say a prayers. And then when you're ready to leave at 3 in the afternoon, you say another prayers before you leave. So, and then they were the exercise books, that the government normally shared out that had, the current president, or they had the prime minister, or map of Guyana. At the back of it, you could Ministry of Education. At the back of the book, you could do arithmetic,
and stuff like that.
It's
different.
It's different now.
It's
It's so much different now. I mean, we need 21st century, and everything. Technology is moving so fast.
Accessibility,
access to the internet, and
for the kids' mind.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
And plus the teachers, they're not interested.
It's
just like a job. No,
I don't want to say that the teachers are not interesting anymore. We find some of them are lackadaisical.
Yeah, it's not a passion anymore.
And then we have teachers out there who work really, 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 really hard. And I must say, you must commend teachers, because
definitely
they got your kids.
They're our first role models, or after our parents is our teachers, because we basically spend more time. And
they have those kids from 9 in the morning all the way to 3 in the afternoon.
We spend more time with the teachers. But some of them, based on, the way society treats them, not just the Guyanese society, but, a lot of international society, they're not as passionate as they were back in the days,
And I think parents also need to develop a relationship with the teacher.
And you aren't seeing that anymore. I can remember, I was just talking to my friend yesterday. I had a teacher, I think she's the head of the Guyana Teachers Union right now, Miss Coretta McDonald. Every other week she used to come home by me and talk with my mom, find out how I'm doing at home.
That's what I'm saying. That's how
and stuff like that. She used to invite me home by her and stuff. And now you don't even see none of that.
And then you can't wholly and solely blame the teachers now, because parents sometimes. Some parents are, when they go to the school, if they find out that the teacher hit the kids, it's very hostile. So it's different now. So what I think is that parents need to create a bond and form some sort of relationship with the teachers.
You said at 15, 16 years old, you was actually aspiring to become a doctor, and actually you're
a lawyer.
Well, doctors and lawyers, that's the two things that everybody wants to become at 15 and 16.
And not only that, I think even for the kids, even for the kids growing up, if you ask them, your parents keep telling you, I hope you grow up to be a doctor or a lawyer. That's the first two things that.
I was so curious. I don't mean to cut you, but I actually wanted to grow up to become a scientist. I was always mixing stuff, like I was a chemist, and it was crazy. But you said you wanted to become a lawyer at 16, but I actually heard you were a model at 16. You began modeling at 16. What was the inspiration behind?
I actually began modeling at 15.
At 15?
But by the time...
You were established at 6. So what was the inspiration behind following that path?
Actually, what happened was, when I was growing up and I was in secondary school, my grandmother was actually really, really strict. So we had this village pageant, Miss Baggerstown. That would be the first pageant I ever entered. Even sometime now, yesterday I was walking, and even sometime now when I'm in the village, everybody still calls me Miss Baggerstown. They don't call me by my name. They actually don't call me by my name. And that pageant happened so many years ago, 15, 16 years ago, but they still call me Miss Baggerstown. But what happened was, they had this village pageant, and they had this guy, Colonel McCure. He was working at NCN at the time. And he was like, I got this pageant, you should go for it. I'm like, anyway, he somehow convinced my mom to let me enter the pageant. I decided I'm going to enter the pageant and stuff. So I entered that pageant, and that was how I got into the whole modeling thing, and from there it just.
And what happened after? What was the outcome for that pageant?
Oh well, I won that pageant. That was my first pageant. Okay. Yeah, I won the first.
First runner up, or
no? Queen. I was queen. I won that stuff, and that led the door to so many other pageants, and I just.
What was next after that?
Pageant. The next pageant after that was Miss East Bank.
Miss East Bank. You won that one too?
Yes, Miss East Bank, and then
Queen or first runner up? Queen.
First runner up.
First runner up.
Oh, okay. Because this girl, I carried Nicole, First runner-up. I was
So
first
I'm
runner-up
guessing
in
you have a
that pageant.
vendetta against Nicole right now.
No. Actually, we're actually really, really good friends.
Okay.
We're actually friends. We were actually friends. It was so long ago, but I know from that paved the way for so many other pageants. I met Miss Pam, Pamela DeLon, and as we know, she's the mother of all pageants in Guyana. I met her, and from there it was Miss Marsh, Miss Passion, Miss Talented Teen, Miss Jam Zone, and Miss Com. I even entered the school pageant with Miss Cummins Lodge, and
Okay.
that's how the whole modeling thing started.
9 out of 10 of them. Did you win?
I won.
Out of 10. How much would you say you win?
I won 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Yes.
Wow. Cheers to that. Super dope. So what were some of like the early challenges that you would have faced in this stepping into this new journey, this new limelight whereby pageantry is concerned, modeling at that young age?
I think it's something that most young ladies are, whether you're modeling or not, it's based on confidence. Confidence. It was always confidence. We always had a problem with whether it's some part of your body that you're afraid to show off, or you in your head think that something is wrong with it because it doesn't look like how it's supposed, like how another person,
how society is telling you it's supposed to.
How society
is telling you it's supposed to look like.
Right? So
like, I guess, for me, like when I'm a writer, whenever I'm faced with like any like writer's blocks, I would like look at pictures of my mom, read inspirational quotes and stuff. How did you deal with those challenges, that you were faced with at that young age? What are some of your strategies?
You see, the thing is, because I loved doing it, by then, I started overcoming it. Like I would have like girls, like little chats with the other girls that was in the pageant and stuff. And then you begin to realize that, hey, everybody, all the other young ladies have a problem with some part, something that is wrong with them, whether they don't like the nose or the eyes or the foot or the ears or something. So after a while, by chatting with other young ladies and stuff, you begin to realize that, you're not the only person that get this problem. Like everybody got something about them that they're not confident enough. You just got to learn how to deal with it. You got to learn to love yourself. Self-esteem you got to learn how to build your self-esteem. Even as little by little you do it, you got to learn how to build your self-esteem.
You did mention that you, out of 10 pageants, you would say that you lost 2 of those. Mm-hmm. How did you, got over the fact that, I lost? Like, what did you do? Like, man, losing is never cool. Nobody can say losing is cool. Like,
I know, but you can't win everything.
You can't win everything.
And the other 2 young ladies that won those pageants were actually deserving young ladies.
Better than you in your work?
Yeah, I would say they were better than me, but at that point in time, they deserved the win. They were the better performer. They were better at answering the question. They were better at doing their talent and stuff. And I think when it comes to pageantry, it always comes, well, back then, when it comes to pageantry, it always came down to the intelligence segment. And that was always my strong point.
You think that's fair though? For that entire pageant, and it just came down to the last segment?
I don't want to say it's not fair. I don't want to say if it's fair or if it's unfair. But I think intelligence plays a very, very important part when it comes to pageantry.
I think so too,
and you must be able to articulate yourself regardless. You must be well-rounded.
In general,
so while it might not be the some people don't see it as the most important part of the pageant. I think it's nice to have an individual or have a pageant contestant or a young lady who's well-rounded.
I have like, I don't mean this, I don't want to sound ignorant or whatever, but this is like my personal opinion. I have like a vendetta against being intelligent. Cause like being intelligent and being smart is 2 totally different things. There's there's a lot of people that is intelligent, but they're not smart. I prefer to be smart. I think I'm a smart person. I'm not intelligent. I'm not the bookworm. I'm not the type of person that did 16 subjects at CFC and got all grade 1. I'm not. That is intelligent.
I know, but I can tell you I'm smart.
Exactly. You see, it's a difference. Being intelligent doesn't mean that you're gonna make a good living for yourself. Being smart.
It doesn't always have to be academically.
Exactly, because guess what? In this technological era, the keys to success is not hard work or being intelligent. It's smart work. You have to be smart.
You gotta be smart.
You gotta be smart. It's not about being intelligent. So, based in that entire pageantry on just one segment, I don't think it's fair. Especially with
I don't think it's like I said. I don't think it's fair. I don't want to say it's unfair. I don't think it's fair. But what I said before, I always think it's better to have a well-rounded young lady.
Definitely,
a young lady who is beautiful, who's smart, who's intelligent, and who can who's able to handle herself whether if she's put in any situation. So if she's put in a situation where she got a answer an intelligent question or she got
a question about
a question on world issues
or she must be
well rounded.
Exactly,
she must be able to adapt to the situation. She must be able to give an answer.
Definitely. So what are some of the advice that you would give to new and up and coming young girls that is aspiring to become models or aspiring to enter some sort of pageantry in the not too distant future? What are some advice you would give to them? Seems as though you would have you have already been through that era. Yeah.
I would say it all, like I said, it all has to do with confidence. And if you believe that this is something that you want to do and you can do it, then go ahead and do it. I remember when I was going up for Miss Marsh, I had just done Miss Barberstown and Miss East Bank. And I was only 16. And when I went up for the Miss Marsh pageant, I was the youngest contestant there. I wasn't even qualified for the pageant because it was 18 to 25.
Wow.
And I was still 16. But because I had won the Miss Barberstown pageant, that was one of the criteria. The winner from this pageant goes on to compete in the Miss Marsh pageant. And I remember because I was young and I was scared, and everybody else in the pageant were 21 and 22 and stuff. I remember we did a promotion. That time they had like the Sheriff nightclub on Sheriff Street. I remember one night we had to do a promotion at the Sheriff night because I was 16. My mom had to come with me. So my mom was outside of the Sheriff nightclub all the time and stuff. So it was always, I was always like, can I compete with these, older girls? Because we had a teacher and we had people that were working in admin and stuff like, could I compete? But I was confident enough, and I told myself, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
And you also mentioned earlier, you don't always
win. Fortunately, I did win that pageant.
You did?
Yeah, at 16, and I did win. So, which all goes to show that, if you believe something, you work towards it, you work hard, then...
And you achieve it. You'll take another shot. Sure. Another shot on that, winning that pageant. What was it?
Miss Mash.
Miss Mash. Which one would you like to try?
We had the coconut. Is this the same coconut or
that's no? This is an Ivanov coconut. This is a different one. And this one
is what?
This is a coconut rum. This is a vodka with pinch of.
Alright, we'll try the coconut rum.
No, we had the. This is.
We had the rum. Alright, we'll try the coconut vodka.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
One is vodka and one is rum. Vodka and rum are different, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm guessing it.
Guess I'll find out.
Yeah, 1 second.
So,
Miss Marsh.
Here's the Miss Marsh.
Good. This tastes a little bit more like Malibu. You think so? It got that Malibu. More, tastes good. I've drank this so many times, and this is like the fourth time I've actually got the real taste of it. This is like this first time I've actually tasted it. Like
it actually tastes
good. Yeah, it actually tastes
like
good.
Malibu,
like a Malibu.
Kind of.
So could you give us like an entire rundown of all the pageants that you would have been a part of? You said 10
so
pageants,
right? Yeah.
Or whatever you remember.
Yeah. There was Miss Cummings Lodge, Junior Miss Cummings Lodge Junior. I did Miss East Bank, Miss Barberstown, Miss Marsh. Miss Guyana Talented Teen.
5.
I did Miss Jam Zone.
6.
Miss Passion.
7.
Miss... I can't remember.
You can't remember.
I did like 2 other pageants. Miss something, some other into teen kind of pageant. I do remember the ones I lost.
I'm kind of curious about what was the outcome. Because I know Jam Zone is like a major pageant in Guyana. What was the outcome with Miss Jam Zone?
Actually, I got first runner for Miss Jam Zone. Yep. Samantha Arthur won that pageant that year. That was in 2005. And that was the last pageant I did.
That was the last pageant? 2005? That was at Splashman's?
Yeah, that was at Splashman.
I was there. Like, I was a Jam Zone freak back in the days.
That was the last pageant.
So why were that the last pageant? What happened?
That was the last pageant I did.
Why?
Because I got pregnant just
got
after,
pregnant?
just
Wow.
like 3 or 4 months after that. I got pregnant.
Premeditated.
No, it wasn't.
Somebody was looking at you doing all
Probably
this pageant,
somebody, but I didn't.
and was like, this girl gonna become something in the future. Let me knock her up right
that was the last pageant I did.
So you've done all these pageants and you've gained so much experience competing and stuff. What are some of the life lessons that you would have taken from these competitive pageants and stuff like that you were a part of?
Life
lessons. Yeah.
That, like, I made a post the other day on Facebook, and I said, like, every day at some point, in life, everybody's going through their own problems.
That's a fact.
Can I curse?
Of course, we can say fucking skunt.
Don't be a skunt. That was the post.
Don't be a skunt.
Everybody is battling their own problems. Yeah. Don't be a skunt.
Don't be a skunt.
And it's always nice to be nice.
Yeah.
Always nice to be nice.
So it's crazy that you said that, because I was actually talking to my friend the other day, and I was telling her, be gentle on everybody.
Yeah,
everybody's there's nobody that right now in this world consider they have a smooth part right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody's
some point
going
in time
through
in your life, and every day, like, everybody's going through their own trials and their own tribulations, their own problems.
Whether it's in school, whether it's socially, whether it's financially,
whether it's emotionally. They're going through something.
Yeah,
so,
I've gone through, like, I've been here since August, and I've been going through so much. I just decide, I just place everything in the hands of God. I say, as long as I wake up, in the morning, and I'm able to go, and I'm able to go to the well and get me puri and me juice, I'm good.
See, that's what I do now. Like, that's what I do now. I just live. Like,
why worry?
Why worry?
Let's take another shot. I think it's time for another shot.
No worry. And another thing I've learned is, don't be miserable. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
Other than you and sometimes your loved ones and stuff. Nobody else cares.
I mean, they might give you a little attention for a couple of minutes, and then a while.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. But, like,
nobody really cares.
It makes no sense being miserable. Nobody cares.
We'll take another shot.
Yeah, we will.
We'll take another shot. We'll toast to nobody cares.
So nobody cares.
I want you to try this one.
All right.
This is a super.
I think I like this one.
Yeah. You drink a lot of milky stuff?
Not really.
Not really? Oh. Let me, we're gonna toast to nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Which is a fucking fact. Nobody really cares,
Nobody cares if you're miserable. Exactly. Trust me.
No, to nobody cares.
To nobody cares.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
I actually like this one.
Is
it peanut butter pecan?
Pecan, yeah, butter pecan. Eldorado butter pecan. We have a lot of DBL products here. We got a lot of banks here. We have some Ansoka. What a lot of people don't know about you is that you also spend some time working in the media. Let's talk about that for a
did.
bit now.
I worked at NTN for a little while.
NTN or NCN?
NTN.
That's channel 65.
That's 69. Breakdown. 69.
Okay.
They had just had the radio station. I think it's 89.1.
They still have that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That was 89.1, and I used to work along with some young ladies there.
Yeah.
June, Delicia, and Janelle, and we did the news there.
Okay.
On the radio.
So how many media jobs did you add, and what was the time span that you worked in the media?
I've had 2 media jobs.
2 media jobs only? Okay.
Actually, I worked at NTN.
Okay.
For like 6 months, and then I went over to News Now.
News Now. Okay.
And I worked there where I was at Sagacity Media Inc. I was the communication manager there.
Okay, so do you think it's more challenging as a female working in the media than it is for a male?
I don't think it's more challenging. I think women in the whole have their own unique challenges when it comes to the working environment, regardless if it's in the media or not. But what I would say is it all depends on you and how you look at it. Some may see it as an advantage.
Yeah.
Some may see it as a disadvantage because
Yeah.
So he's trying to get me drunk. He's encouraging me to.
You don't drink and die from thirst.
Yeah.
You were saying?
Like I said, some see it as a disadvantage, some see it as an advantage. But all depends on how you look at it. Some may say, certain jobs certain jobs they don't send female to cover, like if they got a shootout going on
Oh,
or
they don't
stuff like
send it.
that. No, not that they don't send, like we are
Yeah.
go-getters.
Yeah.
So whether they we cover stories regardless. But I'm just saying that a company would probably prefer to send
Send the
a
male.
male to
Yeah.
cover something like
That's a
that than
fact,
they would
yeah.
a female. And then the female always stand a chance when it comes to like being sexually harassed,
yeah.
when it comes to getting a story or trying to get a little
That's a
in-depth
fact, yeah.
info on a current situation or stuff like that.
I actually worked in the media.
You did?
Yeah, I worked with Gina for 6 months in 2014. It was a challenging job. The one thing about it that I didn't like is that at 5 o'clock you would be going home, and then at 2 minutes to 5 a story would pop up, and then you would gotta be like, oh geez, you can't leave. You gotta go and cover that.
You gotta go cover that. But there's the thing. What I'll say is that you gotta love working in the media to be able to do it.
Yeah, because
you gotta love working in the media to be able to do it.
Especially if you're in a committed relationship, because you might take your woman.
For me, I didn't think I loved it that much. But I like the excitement of I love
that affiliation.
I like that. Yes, I love that. But you gotta actually love what you do. Yeah. And there are a few reporters out there and journalists out there who actually love what they do. Yeah. So you gotta love it to be able to do it.
So you at 16, at 15, you became a model. You won a couple of pageants. Okay. You worked in the media. What else did you do?
Apart from that, I worked at a bank.
Bank teller?
Yeah, I was. I was a teller at a bank. I was a supervisor at Smart Concept and Marketing Solution.
Doing what?
They actually launched a magazine. They actually launched a magazine. It was like a little brochure magazine, okay. Smart Concept and Marketing Solution, telling you about different businesses and stuff like that they printed and they were giving out and selling and stuff like that.
Okay, so yeah, you were saying.
No, go ahead.
So after doing all of these jobs and all these different gigs, at what point did you say, fuck that, I don't want to continue building nobody else's dream. I want to do my own thing. What point?
A few years back, actually, it was like 2 or 3 years back. When I was actually, that was my last media job. Actually, I was working at Sagacity Media, and I was going through. To be honest, I was going through a bad breakup. Okay. It
as
happens.
we've all been through.
As we've all been through. I was going through a bad breakup, and I wasn't focused on work. Mm-hmm. I wasn't focused on doing what I was supposed to do, and I was working with some great people. I had a great boss, supervisor. I had a good cameraman, Hi Yusuf, that I was working with and stuff. And, but I wasn't focused on work. Mm-hmm. And I decided that one day I was making a lot of grammatical mistake and errors on the news website and stuff. Mm-hmm. So one day, 2 days before I actually, quit, my boss called me. He's like, I noticed you've been making a lot of grammatical mistake and errors and stuff. Is everything okay? Because, and 2 days after I went to him and I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to do this no more, because I was honest. I didn't tell him I was going through a breakup or anything, but I said, I don't think I'll be able to do this anymore because I'm not focused. And, I think it's a great new side, and I don't want to be giving you sloppy work and stuff like that. Yeah. And, you should find somebody to replace me. And he was cool about it. He was, very supportive and very nice. And from that, I started deciding what's next, because I had to at some point decide to, find a way to get to generate some cash. Yeah, definitely. So, and then this idea came into place. I always wanted to do it. I always was thinking about it, a kid store. And then I decided, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. And that's how the plan came into play. It didn't happen right away. It happened like 2 years after, a year and a half after. But I started planning since then. Okay.